Most people think diabetes just happened to them, but the truth is, long before diabetes even show up, insulin sensitivity is already broken. And if you don't know how to fix it, no diet, no medication, no healthy eating will save you. Today, I'm breaking down what insulin resistant really is, why insulin resistance is the real enemy, and how you can restore your metabolic control naturally. This is alchemy, turning dysfunction into power. All right, so before we begin, we're gonna find out what is insulin sensitivity. Uh, Insulin is not the enemy; it has a bad rap. It's just a messenger. So the job or the responsibility of insulin is to take glucose from your blood and move it into your muscles, liver, and cells for energy. So it's really not the problem, right? Most people are just uninformed and misinformed. I think that's the correct word on these topics. So hopefully we can clear any of those misunderstandings that you have, so you can function better. With your body. All right. So insulin sensitivity, it just means that your body responds quickly and efficiently to insulin, right? So insulin resistant means when your cells stop listening, right? It's not responding. Think of your body as a vehicle, which it is, right? You have to listen to the check engine light, the signals that it gives, right? Because like I always tell clients that uh, you becoming more self-aware gets you the body that you want. Our body always talks to us, but we just have to listen. All right. So when your cells stop listening, right? When the insulin resistance begins, it's like your pancreas is screaming, right? It's gonna scream for like more insulin because there's a blockage there. Think about it like I don't know how to put it. Like something you're doing, and there's a blockage. You think by adding more is gonna help, but no, you want to do like the opposite because it's gonna store more fat, which would cause more inflammation, which causes a disease in the body, right? And we don't want that, right? So when that happens, that accelerates weight gain. Your energy crashes, feel a lot more sluggish, fat loss stalls, and this is how you develop type 2 diabetes. This is not an overnight thing. Don't think it happens like Amazon Prime. Your body doesn't work like that. It sets signals before, right? If it's not controlled, if you ignore the signals, then it accumulates and then it will go to the far end. And we don't want that to happen, right? So why insulin resistant is common. Insulin resistant is not caused by sugar. And that's alone. And that's one of the misconceptions too, because sugar gets a bad rap. It's really because of modern day how we live, mostly by the sedentary lifestyle, sitting down a lot, the constant snacking. Uh, with the snacking, it's the type of snacks that we're consuming as well. Probably like high in fat, most of potato chips, ultra processed foods. Stress, managing stress is very important, especially in this day and age. Not getting enough sleep, improper sleep, I think is very underrated, and a lot of people need to sleep better. And once you actually develop proper sleeping habits, you have a better quality of life. This could actually reverse some of the things that I'm talking about now. You're not resistance training. I'm a big advocate of resistance training. And like I said, the lack of understanding of carbohydrates. Remember, they're complex and simple carbs. All right. So a lot of people think that if I cut out the carbs, I'm going to be okay. No, carbs are good if you have the proper knowledge. That's with anything in life as well. Right. And your body is really, remember, we're made after nature. So you have to think of it as in cycles, and that's how your body is made. And I think that's one of the problems too. We really are not in tune with nature, with ourselves and outside of self, because your body is the microcosm of the macrocosm, whether it's the earth here or the universe out there, right? If you understand the ebb and flows of your body, you can attune it or align it with nature. And that's one of the problems I have with like Western medicine. it they separate nature from the advancement of technology instead of harmonizing the two, where you can get the best results. And just a little rant, I think America is really like a third world country just with fancy gadgets. I mean, with the advancement that they have or we have here, the life expectancy and the quality of living should be way better. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that. And a lot of it comes from the manipulation of food. I think that they're doing us a disservice by not giving us food naturally. They decide to put profit over people, and it's really reflecting in how we're treating each other as well. Because if you are what you eat, if we're eating garbage, then we end up seeing ourselves as garbage, right? It's a physical and metaphysical kind of thing. As it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So we eating food that have adverse effects to us, right? Meaning adverse and meaning that it's away from the natural order of things, then this is how we're treating each other, not in a harmonious kind of way. And this is why we have a lot of disease and illnesses among us at a very high rate. It's what, over 50% of the American population is obese or overweight. How? As they say, how, sway? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, especially in the educational system as well, feeding our children garbage. It needs a whole paradigm shift, really, in order for us to really be better or to make the advancement as we should as a nation. Not being political, but being political. Even when they raised the age of Social Security, people are dying less, whatever it is, 65, 67, but life expectancy is decreasing. Even if you say it's 75, but what is the quality of your life? So you work all those years, 60 years or whatever, just to have 5 good ones, quote unquote, that you're tired and you're broken down, you can't enjoy your hard work. It doesn't make sense. The math ain't mathing. So we have to really take our health more seriously, because those who are shepherds over us, right, they're not doing a good job. That's why he said, I'm the good shepherd, right? Or before me is robbers and thieves. And this is an example. They're robbing us of freedom, justice, and equality, and the quality of life that was set out before us by our Creator, whether you believe in that or not. So it's something to think about, right? So, like I said, everything has cycles with ebb and flows, right? So, effort and rest, feeding and fasting, stress and recovery, right? But if you constantly live in an input, you don't have time to recover, right? It's a cycle, so reciprocity. You give, you get, right? Like we do in bodybuilding or working out, antagonist muscles, opposing muscles, but they work to complement each other, right? Your body adapts by becoming resistant with the insulin. So the question now is, can you reverse it? I believe that you can. I think there's personally any disease that you have, you can cure yourself if properly uh, informed and in the right environment as well. So insulin resistance is reversible. Many people with type 2 diabetes can achieve remission through lifestyle changes, right? And once again, with Western medicine, they don't look at you holistically. It's, what's the symptom? Okay, take this pill. Instead of changing your habits to see what got you here, and then they can change your quote unquote timeline or trajectory. It's like the Avengers with the time stone. And it was like, by you manipulating this, you can get a different outcome. It's similar with your diet. Once you get your past medical history, what led you here, it's more of a psychological approach they have to take for you to change your habits. And then once you do that, you can, instead of going this route, you can go the opposite route with a better living by you being what's the word? Not initiated, but you being assertive and really making that change, making your mind up to change your trajectory. Right? So, it's not about motivation at this point. It's really just understanding your body, which is physiology. Like, if you took A&P in college, you know what I'm talking about. So when you do that, you reduce your insulin demand, you improve your glucose uptake, you lower inflammation, and restore metabolic rhythm. And everything is a rhythm too. And this is how you recalibrate your body. And it's all about alignment. I think we went away from that. So that's very key as well. So you don't want to fight against your body. You want to teach it to trust you again by taking these necessary steps, right? So now that you have that or on the way to it, how can you improve insulin sensitivity? All right, because you know I'm your boy. I'm not gonna give you problems and not give you solutions, right? And they're real simple. It won't cost you anything, but for you to pay attention. Right? So 5 ways to improve your insulin sensitivity. One, you have to resistance train. I'm telling you, it's a non-negotiable. Build muscle. Muscle is a glucose sponge. The more muscle you have, the less insulin you need, right? Lift weights. You have to train with intention and progress over time. You have to be patient with yourself, one day at a time, but be intentional with what you're doing. And trust me, you will reverse diabetes. This alone can drastically improve insulin sensitivity, right? Uh, but more people are coming out. Number two is walk after you eat. I can't stress that enough. Something as simple, just a 10-minute walk after you eat, will work wonders for you. You know, it's very underrated, but it's a powerful tool and it's simple. It lowers your blood sugar spikes, it improves glucose disposal, and it reduces insulin demand. So, as the saying goes, movement is medicine when used correctly. So, please, guys, use it. And I know it's wintertime, get a little. Now they have these treadmills, like little steppers kind of thing that you can like put under your bed. You don't even have the big jumbo treadmill that we used to have back in the day. You can just slide it out, walk 15, 20 minutes, get a good walk in, and there you go. There's really no excuse for you not to have a better control over your body and your life when it comes to that. Number three, eat to stabilize, not to speak. Overeating is definitely a problem, so you really want to curb that in a way. You don't got to eat like a rabbit or anything like that. But also, when I talked about carbs, right? Because this isn't about low carbs forever. You have to manage the starchy foods as well. That's very important, right? So you want to eat to stabilize, not to spike. It's about prioritizing your protein at every meal. So you probably want to shoot anywhere from 20 to 40 grams of protein. I think that's a number. And fiber as well before sugar. But I think having a more protein and fiber diet would be more beneficial for you in the long run. And you definitely carbs, but not as much. So you want to cut that in half, just to give you an example. But especially if you have how I program it, if you have a high activity day, then you put your carbs around that time, because that is the fuel that you'll need to give you that burst of energy. And then that's where you want to eat more complex carbs, like your sweet potatoes, some rice, not too much for those who can't handle that, and oatmeal, things of that nature, right? And you definitely want to have whole foods over liquid calories. All right. So carbs aren't your enemy. All right. There's your friend. You just have to know how to use them. The enemy really is uncontrolled insulin spikes. All right. 4, improve your sleep, or nothing works. Sleep is a must. It is a must. They say 8 hours, whatever. I'm not getting into any talk about that, but you have to get at least 6 to 8. All right, got to get that, because it says that one bad night can reduce insulin sensitivity by 30%. Can reduce one bad night? Can reduce? Oh damn! Oh, that's bad. So that's a no go. So here are some tips that you can use to help you sleep better. Get a consistent bedtime. That's one thing I don't play about. People call me grandpa. They're like, "You on to bed, grandpa?" Or "You can't keep up." I was like, "You damn right I can't. It's X amount of time. I'm going to bed. You catch me tomorrow." Dark room. Get them type of curtains, blackout curtains. Turn off the lights. No TV. I don't play the radio, anything like that. With your phones, 30 minutes or 45 minutes before you about to go to bed, don't look in your phone. But they say something does something with the light too. You definitely don't want to throw your circadian rhythm. Also, a trick that I use is magnesium, preferably glycinate, because it helps relaxes the muscles before you sleep. You could either put it in your tea. I take the vitamins, and about 45 minutes, 30 minutes before you know it, night. Because your recovery, really, that's where you go, and that's your metabolic power as well. And 5 is an old school remedy. It works. I think the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that fasting can cure about 90% of your illnesses, right? If you have the books here, I have these books, How to Eat to Live, where it says From God in Person, Master Farah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. These are good books. Don't tell me that you know Muslim, you ain't got to read it. Your owner, I said, your boss, I'm pretty sure you and your boss don't share the same religious faith. Just get the books, get the information, and that's the whole point of it, right? You can get it at thefinalcall.com/store, or go to your local mosque or whatever and get it. Or get it on Amazon. But go to the Final Call and get it. I'll probably put the link in the description. But these are good books too, because he has topics or chapters where he talks about diabetes and how to control it as well. Go back to fasting. It really is great because it breaks insulin down, really, because it gives you enough time, or the sugar in your blood, enough time to purify itself, to break down, so it doesn't build up to have that kind of resistance in it. If you have diabetes, I think it would probably be wise to eat probably 2 meals. It's just, but you got to play with it too. It's a journey. You know what I'm saying? If you have any suggestions, put it in, or, I'm all ears to hear what you guys got to say, right? But it gives you time, just like I was talking about, your cells time to reset insulin receptors, burn stored energy, and improve metabolic flexibility. So I ain't making this up, right? This could be a 12 to 14-hour eating window. So this is intermittent fasting. That's another not only weight loss method, but what it does is give you that window where you have time to eat, and gives the body enough time to rest and restore itself. As we mentioned about the benefits before, about breaking down insulin receptors and stored energy, right? Or you could go longer depending on your lifestyle and what you can do as well. All right. So fasting is not punishment, it's metabolic communication, right? So also, reversing insulin isn't about willpower, it's about alignment. Like I told you, that's what my brand is about. So when your lifestyle matches your biology, blood sugar stabilizes, energy returns, fat loss becomes possible, and health stops feeling fragile. That's the real flex. All right, not a six-pack average, metabolic control. All right, so that's how you transform that from let to go. So if you need help like this, hit the like button, subscribe, click the link in the description, and reach out to me. We can set a call up to get meal plans situated for you if you need help or guidance in that department. And once again, thank you for lending me your ears. Appreciate you guys much. This is Alchemy Fitness, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.